Leopardo?
Campo di là la palla vostra. Minuto e accorrimento, ricordiamo.
Arrivo.
Qua?
Dove Ale? Qua? Sì, vai. Romano, lo dico subito. La panchina lì a destra. Dov'è lì?
Vale subito un minuto. Quando vuoi lo...
Ante, c'è spazio, Ante, c'è spazio.
Vai.
Subito stretto, Teo, dopo, subito stretto. Ciao, ciao.
Vale, uomo, arriva. Ehi. Ciao. Stop.
Bravo! Casa!
Potresti, se io penso sempre sta lì con
Jack gördün Samus'la bana.
Cambia, cambia. Non ha pressione, non ha pressione.
Molto importante da aspettare là. Se no arriviamo tutti in ritardo dietro.
Up against Spinazzola, who's in.
A destra, Pele. Occhio, Jordi.
Dietro.
Alza Samu, alza Samu. Solo, solo.
Pulsare, te.
In those defensive areas, sometimes we got out in terms of his positioning, but going forward and up against Zappacosta, who's come back in today after a long-term injury layoff, I think that's going to be a real key area for Milan to get down that left-hand side and cause issues. But against Lecce, I thought there was, as you just said there, of the season. The bystander in the game so far, but just a little bit more pace from Roma when they're on the ball going forward than what Milan have shown so far. Making a good run down that left side, coming inside, but just overrunning it slightly. Zapacosta getting forward well again, pushing back Çalhanoğlu to get into those defensive areas.
Kessie. Bennacer. Castillejo. Immediately Conte up ahead of him. Rather wasted.
Disappointing there from Castillejo. They're coming on that left-hand side. We'll need more from him and Çalhanoğlu in those final thirds, in those wide areas, which, as Ledger said, they were absolutely brilliant. One of their better performances, but so many times, as we say with these Milan players, just the consistency, game after the game, has always been the issue.
Tremendous tackle from Kessie to get Milan back on the front foot here. Here he is again. Dzeko, not the oldest player on the pitch. Mirante at 36 can eclipse him. Targeting Castillejo. Qatari. Cristante. Everybody's still adjusting to the feel, the sense of occasion that comes without the fans inside the ground. Milan doing their best to try and get the fans involved with photos, videos put on the video screens around the stadium here today. The AC Milan Together campaign. Players can't turn around and use the excuse they didn't hear the coach, that's for one thing. Bit loose from Kluivert. Kessie to Kier. There's Romagnoli. Swapped between these clubs back in August 2015. Another of his former clubs in Sampdoria during the week. It's a fairly slow, steady start. Nothing remarkable just yet.
Well, it feels like both sides are just trying to feel each other out just at the moment, but the problem, I think, for Milan is just trying to play the ball out from the back into midfield. When that ball goes into midfield, they just can't quite find the right pass to break that Roma line when they drop back deep into their defensive area.
Decline Romagnoli above and beyond Edin Dzeko. Roma then chasing the top four: Juventus, Lazio, Inter, Atalanta. And here certainly with eyes on Roma as well as Napoli and Parma.
It's a quality challenge there from Kluivert.
Theo Hernandez. Of course, but he's being relied upon more and more by Stefano Pioli. Spinazzola on the charge.
Case there for an obstruction there. Just holding his ground and putting his body across there. Referee was in a decent position to see that. Across there, referee was in a decent position to see that. Seen those given, seen them not.
I think Spinazzola being a bit cute there, knowing that he could take the block and maybe get the free kick. Fixture that's rather been enveloped by talk of stadium, new owners, new management. Two clubs in need of stability and long-term security. Yet to see if any takeover is completed at Roma. Jim Pallotta, I know, will be watching avidly in Boston right now. But, he recently talked of the breakdown of the potential takeover by the Friedkin Group. I see one of the scorers in the corresponding fixture last year. Here's Rebic now. And suddenly for Rossoneri start to galloping forwards.
It's just been their problem though, just breaking down again in that final third. 1 minute ago, Chanalolo just played that brilliant ball inside to Rebic, who gave it away. Mancini came tight and won that challenge. Just breaking down just far too often in that final. They can't really get any momentum, any real chances so far against this Roma defence.
Teo Hernandez popping it round the corner of Zappacosta, the former Chelsea man. Alert and reading the game well. Dzeko here feeding Mkhitaryan now. Kluivert on the burst in the box. And it was one of those wicked balls played across, which in the end Donnarumma has done well to extend and pour clear.
They've done well then. Dzeko dropping short and Mkhitaryan. That's what you have to do. You have to fizz a ball across with a bit of pace there. Kluivert just trying to make that run across the near post, but Donnarumma there, good touch there to steer that one away. Not really one you could take.
Nine clean sheets for the man who wears 99. Smalling had come forward along with Mancini, and they're going to have to scamper back quickly here. Plenty of height and air on that clearance from Donnarumma, though, allowing Roma to clear from Castillejo.
I think we had too many options up there. He should have just taken the catch and just slowed the play up a little bit. Milan to get their shape and get up the field, but cheap foul to give away there on the halfway line just allows Roma now to contain possession again.
Can't help but feel that the transfer window crucial to both these clubs, especially as they rebuild for the coming season. But there is still business to be done here. Kluivert curls it. Dzeko! Really for him, just wide of the mark.
I think he just had to adjust his position slightly there because of the deflection that came in. Kese just got underneath it slightly. I think he's just trying to help the ball on there. Just on the outside of the post, but the first chance for the Roma number 9.
Rebic chasing, Smalling underneath it.
That's perfect there for Roma because it's just a long ball forward now because they can't, as I mentioned before, try and break those lines to go into midfield and get Canalolu and Casaheo on the ball into those good areas. Now they're going forcing it long where Roma been good in these positions.
Industrious from Vertu. Zappacosta maybe looking for a give and go with Mkhitaryan, who decides to go for the shot himself.
They certainly look more effective on the counter-attack, Roma. Attacking at pace, but attacking in numbers as well. Just a wrong decision there for Mkhitaryan to come in on that left foot of his and take the shot on from that distance.
The expression commentators normally come out with is put your mortgage on it. A rare miss from Roma's number 9. Pellegrini, much deeper. Mancini guiding it on. Cristante can't pull the trigger. A miss from Roma's number 9. Pellegrini, much deeper. Mancini guiding it on. Cristante can't pull the trigger. All a bit frantic. Pellegrini, nice angle on that one though, and it was glanced on by Spinazzola. Ouch. Felt that one. Certainly heard that one, and it's the first yellow card of the contest.
Pellegrini with the challenge, and this is what happens when one wants to go and attack the ball and the other doesn't quite fancy it.
And the graphic saying Pellegrini misses the next match. Roma home to Udinese on Thursday. He will not be part of it. Flipped on by Teo Hernandez. Smalling, safety first. Just past the midway point of the first half. Best chance falling for Roma. And Edin Dzeko. Milan yet to fashion any threat on Morante's goal so far.
I think they've been pretty poor so far in these first 23 minutes, considering, as mentioned before, I thought the match fitness that they would have had on top of Roma certainly would have helped them, but look a little bit flat at the moment and don't really look confident when they're on the ball and trying to break down Roma. Has always been an issue. Now they're just trying to force it long, and the back four just comfortably dealing with it, and they certainly have to be careful when Roma do counter-attack, because they are counter-attacking at pace and with numbers.
Yeah, you get the feeling at the moment, as you said, that it's Roma setting the agenda here.
Far in these first 23 minutes.
More and more of the play, and Milan looking a little bit bereft of ideas, frankly, so far.
Been an issue sometimes when you talk about Casaheo and Canalolu, just that consistency week in, week out. Canalolu, a player that can go missing sometimes quite a lot. Hasn't got to the game yet.
By Zappacosta, out by Kier. Telegraphed by Cristante. Dzeko lurking. One of those wicked curling balls played in behind the defenders, appreciated by the striker and captain.
It was a great ball in there. Romagnoli just facing towards his own goal, didn't really want to touch it. I think Dzeko was expecting the centre-half to get a touch on that. That's why he probably just didn't gamble that extra yard to get on it, but certainly applauded the fullback there with a great ball in.
There has already been transfer activity in each of these clubs. I've seen the Lyon defender Pierre Kalulu, although it's not official yet, but I think it's safe to say we can expect him to be part of the setup next season. Looking here for Roma, Pedro. Currently with Chelsea. He's done a short-term extension to the end of the campaign, but expected to be part of Roma's setup for the new campaign also. Here's Castillejo. Better from Milan all of a sudden. Once actually committing some bodies forward. The playing personnel, but the managerial personnel, the potential changes at the very top of the clubs. These are very significant times for these two great clubs.
Certainly a massive summer for both sides on and off the field.
Great clubs.
Certainly a massive summer for both sides on and off the field. Certainly Milan, transfer-wise, I certainly have to get it right if they really want to now creep up into that top 4 or 3 to really contest for those Champions League spots.
Mancini slightly caught as Bonaventura came dashing through.
It was the first real chance for Milan in that final third. Great little link-up play there from Rebic. And just slices that wildly to take that over the bar.
Understandable that Mancini was drawn towards the apparent threat with Rebic. Smalling powerfully, firmly up to halfway. Just a little bit too much of a stretch initially for Zappacosta, who recovered very well and very smartly. Mentality, his leadership qualities can inspire them for the closing stages.
I think he certainly can still offer something. Saw plenty of him in MLS last season for the Galaxy and took that league by storm season after season, and shown when he first came in, the goals were very, very important early on. Get himself off the mark. Unfortunate injury just held him up a little bit, but certainly
they brought in last September from Eintracht Frankfurt. Up in Çalhanoğlu. Immediately Theo Hernandez goes bursting on the outside of him. But the tracking back was from Henrik Mkhitaryan. He was certainly reinvigorated in this Roma side.
He done well there, Mkhitaryan, to come back there, but disappointing again from Çalhanoğlu, that just got into a good area, and that's where you want
Ну, вряд ли.
Bonaventura slow to react. Zappacosta sharp and alert, but then I think same could be true of the Roma's midfield there momentarily. Dzeko, interception from Castillejo. He's Kessie. Conti outside him. This is Benacer. Number of last year's recruits. Benacer brought in from Italy. And those who suffered the drop.
Milan poor. Just get into Roma's half, and too many times now in those situations just giving away the ball cheaply.
Oh, goalkeeper for a moment looked in trouble. So Morante recovered his composure, most importantly recovered the ball. That's a lovely pass forward, and suddenly options opening up here for Mkhitaryan, with Zappacosta tearing up the outside here. Dzeko in the middle here for Roma. Mkhitaryan on the follow-up. Kier knocks it behind. That will be a Roma corner.
He's driven really, really well, Mkhitaryan, with a purpose and with quality. Dzeko went to the near post and then he decided to go away, and maybe would have felt if he stayed in that area that he maybe would have got onto the end of that cross. This is what you don't want to see. Goalkeeper centre of his goal, turning inside and closing down forward. Just got away with that one.
How many times have we seen a goalkeeper fluff his lines in those positions? That's why they play in goal. Yeah. Cooling break time. And just as Roma prepare for the corner, the temperatures here so hot. Late afternoon, early evening. I know there was a lot of talk about how much it might affect the players to be playing at this time of the day. Perhaps they prefer to be playing later on at night. The evening kickoffs, some as late as 10:15 local time in the evening. That's another factor, but it does affect the two clubs equally, Adam.
It certainly does. I mean, the heat at this time of day was certainly going to affect the pace of the game and sometimes the quality as well on the ball, which I think we've seen in this first period of that first half. But I think overall you'll be looking at Roma creating the better opportunities, and I think have been better on the ball. I think after Milan's performance, I was actually expecting them to play a lot better and start a lot faster, maybe showing Roma a little bit too much respect, but Castellano and Calhanoglu would just need to get into the game a lot more. I mean, every time they've got it on the right and left-hand side, they've tried to find Rebic, and the ball's been given away cheaply, and it's certainly a real concern for the home side so far. But fortunately for them, going in goalless into this first drinks break, that they can maybe just recuperate and show a little bit more.
Piero Giacomelli hasn't had any terribly important or difficult decisions to make just yet. Just one yellow card shown. Pellegrini, Fonseca's team come Thursday night against Udinese. It's as if he needs a break himself. So important off the back of a cooling break like this to refocus. Dzeko, Mancini, Smalling. Dangerous potentially here. Cristante being guarded as well by Conti there. Kier just ahead of him. Not the greatest corner in truth. Easy for Kessie to clear. Maybe the game at times has lacked intensity. You can see them just walking it around here. Maybe that's a direct consequence of the late afternoon heat. It's a loose one, but foul from Kessie on Kluivert.
He's lucky there on the halfway line, just being pulled there by Kessie. You've seen that one played on.
Commentator's always getting asked about pronunciations. I know some people think it should be Kessier, but he himself said Kessie. So that's what we go with, folks. Hakan Calhanoglu. Getting more of the player than the ball.
He's certainly one of the players that have been disappointed in the first half. I thought his performance against Lecce was one of those ones where fans all of a sudden get excited about him, and certainly does have quality, but I think the problem is just that consistency of qualities week in, week out has always been his issue.
Spear towards Spinazzola. Away from Castillejo, Dzeko lurking. Really confident, comfortable catch for Donnarumma. Here's Teo Hernandez. To Castillejo. Took his goal so well the other night against Lecce in that 4-1 win. Lecce possibly and might justifiably tug from Clivert. Talking again about whether an offside needs to be a little bit more than just simply marginal. One or two frames of video either way can make a whole different picture. Almost impossible to be 100% accurate. Pellegrini caught this time. It's been a little bit stop-start for Milan since that water break to again try and get themselves back into this game. In terms of the possession and offering something within that final third. Space opening up here for Milan. Teo Hernandez dangerously plays it in, and it was a very presentable chance with Hakan Çalhanoğlu racing in.
This is certainly the best chance of the game so far for the home team. Brilliant, brilliant ball in there. Just a lack of confidence there from Çalhanoğlu there to use his head and direct that back towards goal. Certainly Milan's best chance of the game so far.
Two opportunities, I suppose, really for Milan in this first period. The other was that near mishap from Mirante. Well, that's the first one Milan themselves have fashioned. Great running again from Mkhitaryan, scampering up to try and get there. Well, marshalled by Romagnoli.
It's always going to be a difficult ball there to spray that 30-40 yards to put Mkhitaryan through.
Rebic in pursuit, Mirante spotted it, snuffed it out. Milan with slightly greater the number of passes. And they've roundabout been equally accurate. Nothing too much in it. Probably at this stage, with 5 minutes and a half to go, it would be fair to say neither side has actually deserved to be in front.
It's been periods of the first half where I think Roma have offered something better in the final third. I think Milan have kept it better in this area here now. Just mentioning that final third, it's just broken down far too many times for that link-up play to cause Roma concerns. Both sides have now just had the odd chance, especially from headers.
Roma have nicked it. Here's Dzeko. He's brushed to the ground. A yellow card immediately flashed the way of Samu Castillejo.
most fouls you will see on the counter-attack where you just try and bring someone down to stop them going through.
It's one of those take it for the team, isn't it? Vertu with Cristante. Cristante was coming forward to Roma today. Yeah, just screening it back to Donnarumma. Cut out by Chris Smalling. Certainly a dialogue to be had with Manchester United about his future. Dzeko. Conte climbing tall enough to prevent it reaching Kluivert.
Maybe just needed to move that ball slightly quicker there, Dzeko, with Pellegrini and Kluivert in good position. Pellegrini would have been the better ball, closer to him, trying to put Kluivert in over the top.
So Castillejo flat on his back here. One of the 2 yellow cards flashed by Piero Giacomelli in this first half at San Siro. The referee coming over to talk to Stefano Pioli. Can't always hear every word, although you don't necessarily have to be lip readers since the return. Certainly can't have players surrounding referees in this day and age. Chini. And a set. Kessie stabs on. Cristante's foul.
Good awareness there from just drawing the foul there. Just let the ball run across his body. Cristante just getting a little bit too tight. Certainly was a foul. Now this is a really, really dangerous area for Roma to defend against, not to drop too quickly from the edge of the box.
Well, the big Dane, Simon Kjær, among those forward. Bonaventura just behind him. Theo Hernandez in the box along with Romagnoli. Again, Çalhanoğlu with it. Conte making sure.
He just did enough there. I think there was enough from players attacking that cross there. Only really seeing Hernandez going in.
Çalhanoğlu just jogging across there. Oh, there you go, the corner count. Milan's first. Theo Hernandez, Romagnoli, Rebic, Bonaventura near post. Heading for a push there on Theo Hernandez, who's down in the Roma penalty area. Clutching his ankle.
I didn't see anything untoward when that cross did come in. Mancini, wasn't it? Just caught him on the bottom of the foot when he just went to jump.
I just wonder whether they take a dim view of putting the hand on the shoulder like that too, Adam. I don't know whether that's just being a little bit too overprotective, but he's got his arm certainly on the left shoulder of Theo Hernandez.
You're always got to be careful. Sometimes the referee's angle doesn't quite see that and maybe feel that the pressure on the shoulder is a little bit more than what it is. I think one hand sometimes you get away with it, two certainly not.
I think probably would be the case. We'd have a clutch load of penalties in every match if all of those were penalised. And the second of the 2 added minutes here. Dzeko with the best opportunity for Roma before Milan almost capitalised on Mirante, trying to dribble it out from his own goal, and then Hakan Çalhanoğlu played in with a lovely, delightful cross, which he couldn't convert. One good, clear chance for each team. So Piero Giacomelli brings the first half to a close at San Siro. Davide Zappacosta getting his first start in Roma colours. At a fairly lacklustre affair, in truth, between these two great clubs. Neither perhaps deserving to be in front, but each fashioning one clear chance of their own. Hakan Çalhanoğlu with Milan's best opportunity off a delightful cross played into him. And Edin Dzeko for Roma, who's been so prolific once again this year, steering it wide of Donnarumma. At the Giuseppe Meazza at the break, 0-0 between Milan and Roma.
something like this. Boy from the boogie, don't know me, they look at I'm being the clouds. Pull full of Henny, I'm drinking a drum. Daytime better come correct. Ain't playing at your best, then you will get left. If it don't involve money, then I don't accept. If it don't involve money, then I don't accept. Something like this. Daytime better come correct. Ain't playing at your best, then you will get left. If it don't involve money, then I don't accept. If it don't involve money, then I don't accept. It's all about humanity. About humanity. about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity.
choppers, better cook those risks. Cold blood in my fists, we fire starters. One out of a million will reach those heights. Always get a feeling that I won't deny that work. Never could toss. Look at my eyes, I'm on the rocks. Rise. But I'm up now, we all too late to fall. Yeah, anyone coming up, I left them all. Never look down when there's risk involved. I got guts, got a lot, I gotta risk it all. Ain't got no feelings, we just floating. Yeah, I'm that grain of sand that made it out the ocean. A couple milli now, I'm causing a commotion. I've been coasting, hear my name around the world like an explosion.
Rise up. Rise up. We are the apocalypse, and a path that keeps us floating. As we fly above the stars, the light won't scare us falling. So rise up. I'm too great to be landed. Rise up. We're too great to be standing.
They never gonna stop us, fly by them like choppers, better cook those risks. Cold blood in my fists, we fire starters. Let's go. One out of a million will reach those heights. Always get a feeling that I won't deny that work. Never could toss. Look at my eyes, I'm on the rocks. Rise.
Dzeko behind. Conti swerves away. Spinazzola to Vertu. Pellegrini launching Zappacosta almost over the advertising boards.
Certainly better movement from Kluivert in particular off the ball from Roma in those final areas. Necessarily making space to try and get himself the ball, maybe making space to create chances for Mkhitaryan and Pellegrini to get forward into a better area.
We talked about Theo Hernandez earlier on, Adam, on the left side of Milan's defence. Zappacosta first start for Roma. It's been a long wait for him, but how do you think he's done on his first start today?
I think he's done well, Steve. I think he's adapted himself well into the game. I don't think he's got forward too often. I think he's been quite cautious of his positioning when he doesn't have the ball.
Well, Cristante caught here, and Milan looking to pounce some pressure. Covered by Benacer. Here's Theo Hernandez. Great to see that it is Zappacosta starting in Roma colours for the very first time today. He's had a long wait. Double change potentially for Milan. So first change then, and Castillejo on a yellow card, remember. Withdrawn, Paquetá comes on, and Salamanca's will be on for Bonaventura. Swung in by Giannoli. There's a bit of confusion and chaos there, Romagnoli.
Certainly a great ball in there, well defended in the end.
So Paquetá, the Brazilian, Salamanca's the Belgian. Numbers 39 and 56. Here near post, Romagnoli behind, Paquetá darts towards that front marker, Rebic leaves it. Salamanca's via the corner flank. There's Bonaventura, who scored Milan's second goal against Lecce on Monday night. Seems a long time ago, that goal fest.
It's difficult to get into the game in that final third. That one chance which laid it off to him.
Jesse. Here's Benacer. To score Seria A. Kluivert on the spin. As before, Roma looking to play the counter-attacking game here as Salamanca's ploughs forward against Kluivert.
Something that's certainly what we mentioned both benches in terms of it's so important when the game's been almost like a game of chess to try and break things down, that you look at your bench to bring on, and I think Milan in particular just need a bit more pace, and certainly Salamanca's they can certainly provide that.
We'll see how their shape settles down here. Paquetá, you'd think, would drop into the Bonaventura position. Giannoli. Nice shape on that once again. Salamanca's sharp closing down by Roma.
Well, there, Chris Smalling, great first header there from the cross that came in, and then all of a sudden all good defenders drew out to go and close that shot down at the edge of the box, and vitally important block there.
And those two changes reinvigorating the team, it seems. They need a bit of delivery than that. For those who've gone jogging forward in the sapping sunshine, last thing they want to do is to have to go jogging all the way back without any opportunity to do anything with it.
It's disappointing when you don't beat that first player at the near post area.
So Kluivert coming off here, and Carlos Perez is coming on here for the last half an hour and a bit. Carlos Perez, the Spaniard who they brought in from Barcelona at the start of 2020. His first Seria A start against Sampdoria the other night. A night and an afternoon of firsts for some of those in navy blue today. Mancini returned with a bit of interest. Mike Kessie. Here's Salamakers. Pakita dropped. Cristante nipped in. There's Dzeko foraging away against Conti.
You mentioned the fitness of Roma in the second half, having that game less than what Milan have. And it seems so far that the home side are pressing better. There's a little bit more emphasis when they're on the ball and off the ball that really made Roma come unstuck a little bit, because Roma haven't really shown that quality in the ball in the counter-attack that they showed in that first half.
Pellegrini is there too. Dzeko staying central, giving them a central target, focal point. Pakita. Dragging Mancini with him.
Vai Pacche! Andè, non vuoi essere fuori, mani fuori, sennò poi veniamo lì lì. Pacche.
It's curious how well teams at the top are perceived to be playing at the moment. Juve continue to grind out win after win. Atalanta, very impressive the other night, the way they came back against Lazio. So fluid, so attack-minded, goals flowing freely. Milan here looking to open up Roma with Salamakers. Mkhitaryan has had a really splendid match. A little bit of space beginning to open up. Pellegrini starts to dart into it. Carlos Perez with him, and he's forced the corner.
He done well there, the captain Romagnoli, because he came out, he had to stop that ball from Pellegrini just being threaded through there for Acosta to make that run down the right-hand side, and then made an important block to stop the cross coming in.
Sono in due! Occhio arriva, Simone.
Smalling there. Oh, bizarre clearance initially by Donnarumma. Either one thing or t'other. Carlos Perez. Now Cristante. Milan looking a little bit stretched here all of a sudden. Very tight defensive block around the edge of their area. Rebic kept it in. Tracked by Vertu.
He done brilliantly there, Rebic, to keep the ball in there from that ball over, and I just think he knows full well what he's doing there. Just a little bit of contact to go down quite theatrically and quite easily.
That's the result. But, you could make a case for it being the other way round. The theatrics, as you say, Adam, but it's Rebic who's got the yellow. Seria A could be an unforgiving place. Clubs like Atalanta, Lazio, pushing the giants of Inter and Juventus at the top of the table. Sometimes you can't afford to stand still, you actually end up going backwards. Milan and Roma. Each try to stake their claim for being right at the top echelons, not only of the domestic game, but also the European game. But, on this evidence, there's going to be a fair distance to travel. Kessel, there too, made amends for initially missing it, and he breaks away here with two in support. Spinazzola is also arriving, Dzeko lurking, and then mop it up, pack it up to the Belgian Salamakers. Getting more and more stretched here. Right idea, not quite the right execution.
Just can't quite find that final ball to be met by their own players in that final third, but you also have to give credit to the position of the defenders as well.
Rebic. He was actually trying to swerve that in from there.
Sure. Just a tired cross that came in and just trying to fire it across and hope for the best, really.
That's a really nice feed, and Salamakers forward, great dummy as well. Goalkeeper getting a touch on that to knock it into the side netting. And Hakan Çalhanoğlu once again proving to be Milan's biggest threat.
Salamakers just come on and change the dynamic of Milan in that final third. Great awareness there from Rebic to let that go through his legs. Maybe have felt that he was in an offside position to let that go for Çalhanoğlu, but yeah, was always going to be working against him.
25 minutes left. Deadlock yet to be broken. Smalling firmly away. Turn towards Rebic here. It's a good reach. Well there.
Really well. He does work hard, doesn't he, in terms of his work rate and unselfishness in that final third.
Match perched on a fulcrum. It could go either way. Theo Hernandez drills it. Smalling seeing the potential danger, closing down smartly and quickly.
Don't mind there, Chris Smalling. Didn't turn his body as well. Sometimes you see a defender turn their body, and that's where they take that, unfortunately, deflection. Sometimes they could end up in the back of the net, but stayed strong.
Paquetá gets it back. Paquetá deflected, and it needs the save.
was always going to be a fight ball, so an area in that final third with Perotti coming on as well. I think it was certainly an area that Roma had to try and make better, because you've seen the two subs happening for Milan. They've looked a lot more sharper in that final third, and I think Roma were lacking that. Maybe the two subs could maybe change that for them now.
This is a super striker, but he's not Superman. And, they're looking for a hero to emerge here. Kalinic, Perotti on. Costing up in there against Theo Hernandez, Rebic. See almost the creativity, the cogs whirring round in his head as he tries to carve an opening. Pitch looks immaculate, by the way. Benacer. Salamakers. Guitar. Milan substitutes combining. Which way? Touch, sure. 70 appearances for them over a couple of years. Paquetá now, protecting it. Cristante, blazing.
He's been sharp since he's come on. He's looked bright as well. Just a couple of times his decision making has to be slightly better than what it's been there from Paquetá.
Comes a point in the match when cooling breaks are taken in these earlier in the day matches, and this is that point here with Milan and Roma still gridlocked at 0-0. We were talking earlier about some of the work that the clubs are doing with the local communities. I was told by a media officer at Roma about some of the work they've been doing, and they really have been stepping up during the crisis. Their ticket office turned into a COVID-19 call centre at one point. They've gone on to raise over €500,000 for a local hospital. They've donated tablets to some disadvantaged children. Masks, gloves, sanitizing gel they've been putting out, distributing through the Roma Cares programme, and even during the enforced break they were delivering Easter eggs as well to some of the kids in hospitals, with players sometimes helping out with some surprise video calls to some of their long-standing supporters. It's good to hear, Adam, some of the things that the clubs and the players are doing in times of crisis.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's been a difficult time for Italy in particular, that was hit really, really hard at the start of this COVID-19. It's always important that they certainly look to the community to try and help themselves. You know, young kids are always influenced by the footballers and the football clubs as well, and you know, they are seen as part of society of trying to help people out in difficult times, and it's been great to see from clubs all over Europe as well that they do really bind into this unity to try and get through this very, very difficult time for everybody.
Seeing Jacko and Kolarov and Cengiz Under. Think of the talent on the sidelines here. But, I suppose for Paolo Fonseca and Stefano Pioli and all the other coaches at this stage of the season, as the games start to tick down and we move into the final countdown, the last 10, managing squads, assessing fitness levels, and redistributing whatever they can amongst the squad to ensure that everybody is at their peak when it really matters. This is one of those games which could see them both fall further off of their main objectives. I just wonder if either will take a bit more of a gamble here in their concern and in their quest to get the victory in the last 15 minutes. given away very cheaply there. And here's Rebic to Pakita. Milan suddenly with players over, perhaps. Salamaca's coming in, and that's Kessie. Great stop, and then Rebic off the post, but hammers it in. And finally Milan break through. Well, a catastrophe in the back there for Roma. But Rebic, rampant at the moment, 8 in 9.
Right place at the right time, and it's certainly a goal that Milan certainly deserve on their second half performance. It really turned the screw, really tested Roma, and really pushed them back. Kessie was brilliant there, but it's a poor pass there from Costa. We mentioned that his first game backwards, could that be that tiredness in the pass? Great first save there from Mate, and then all of a sudden Rebic at the right time at the right place puts it into the net. Cialanoglu leaves it brilliantly there for the forward man. And goal scoring form just before the break, and has continued that since he's come back, and it's a goal that the home side certainly deserve.
Europe once again on Milan's horizon. And Rafael Leao is coming on as a result. It's the last contribution of Ante Rebic. Remember, he's on a yellow card too, so applauded off with a big beaming smile from Rafael Leao. Himself on the score sheet, the final goal in that 4-1 win at Lecce on Monday.
Certainly was going to be a change that Pinoli was always going to make.
A little bit of sympathy there for Miranti, trying to deal with the initial error caused by Zappacosta's loose one. So good to see Zappacosta back, and yet that's the moment. Yeah, I suspect he's going to be haunted by tonight.
At this point, as I mentioned before, he's had a fairly decent game in terms of his positioning. Him and Hernandez would have a good battle up against him, and he's pretty much contained full back at times there. But it's just a tired pass more than anything. Hard to fault a player when you've been out for that long and you've had such a serious injury that mistakes will be made, but unfortunately for him it's cost his side a goal.
Setbacks happen to everybody. It's about how you respond to them, I guess. Alex Ferguson always used to talk in those terms at Manchester United about when things go wrong, respond, and he was the master of making everybody feel as if the world was against his club and his players. Therefore, their bond, their unity became stronger. Can Roma pull together here? Spinazzola allowing it to run. Clever movement here with Carles Perez. FIFA Under-20 World Cup, he was out in Poland this time last year. Now it opens up for Milan. Pakita sweeps it on for Salamakas. Pakita, just a brilliant bit of skill to take it in his stride. Too eager to recover.
Certainly committed challenge there from Pakita. It's just the way he's gone in, maybe. Slightly dangerous there. Does play the ball though. Follow through afterwards. Causes the foul to be given against him.
So the Diawara coming on. Javier Pastore too. It's going to complete the quintet of changes. Pellegrini on the yellow, suspended for Thursday, makes way. Cristante is the other. what you think of the 5 changes, change in the law, Adam, but in some quarters it feels as if it's very hard for teams to get a rhythm when they make all 5 changes, and yet, of course, the main initiative is to protect and keep players safe.
It was more that maybe they did certainly had to look out before the comeback came, just take it away, because the time was longer than an off-season usually. Sometimes can hinder the way the teams play, the amount of subs that are made in the second half.
Story coaching it through, Kalinic playing in the Džeko role, if you like, as the central striker. It's fair to Perotti. We're in search of an equaliser. Oh, lovely flick on by Spinazzola. And Milan having to knock it behind for the Roma corner here. Great sense of urgency. Roma 6 points off the top 4 as it stands. They will have played their game for match day 28, with Inter and Atalanta yet to play in this round. Mancini rising. Little twist to the European spots this year could be Napoli, having won the Coppa Italia against Juve. So if they are in one of the European spots themselves, having won the Cup, then that could benefit a club like Milan here. Perotti manoeuvring the cross towards that far side where Theo Hernandez is trying to keep tracks with Costa. Theo Hernandez coming down from the challenge on him from Carlos Perez. Certainly heard it.
Forward well there, but it was in the first go. So just slightly high there. As they came in there, made the foul.
A pensive Paulo Fonseca. Concern for Rebic with that left knee. I know everybody interested to know when Zlatan Ibrahimovic would be fit to return. Next up for Milan, away to Spal. But I mentioned that trio of fixtures, Lazio, Juve and Napoli, coming in quick succession. And without being disrespectful to Spal in the slightest, whose achievements have been remarkable and memorable, you'd have to say that Zlatan will have his eyes very firmly on that trio of fixtures. That's a lovely ball to open up the space and the angle. Pastori's made a good run in the middle. Iwara closing down. Paquetá, but here comes Benacer now. Milan leading 1-0 for Ante Rebic. Here's Rafael Leao. Salamaca's inside him. Just having to keep it at training ground pace at times.
Something he had something better in his mind there, Leao, when he went forward into the 18-yard box. Just held it up a little bit too much for Mancini there to come and make the challenge.
Last 5 minutes. What a valuable home win this would be for Milan. Whose home form has hardly been anything to write home about. 4 wins, 5 draws, 4 defeats prior to this one. And Genoa last time now goes down.
Just needs to move a little bit quicker there. Mancini to square up and hold him up nicely.
They're just checking for possible handball or something there, but absolutely nothing in there. Theo Hernandez. Right by the referee. Yellow cards about to come out, is it? I thought it was, but seems not. Theo Hernandez almost in full flight.
Interesting, because Pellegrini got a similar yellow card to one in the first half that the referee gave. He certainly does catch him.
Milan's left back up on his feet. Hakan Çalhanoğlu having squandered the better of his two chances, a first half header. Managing to squeeze the ball off Moranti into the side netting second half. Coach needing a little bit more end product. Theo Hernandez driving forward. Rafael Leao a bit flat-footed. Referee's given the penalty here. And Theo Hernandez brought down. His determination to run at Roma has presented his team with the golden opportunity to put the game out of reach. Chris Smalling sliding in.
I don't know if Chris Smalling felt that he didn't get too much contact there, but it was just the ball that goes back towards Hernandez that goes forward. Yeah, he does slightly catch him, doesn't he? Good attacking play, though, from Hernandez to gamble going 3 on that.
Paulo Fonseca and Roma maybe seeing chances of a top 4 place evaporate in front of them here. And Çalhanoğlu has placed the ball. Can he beat Moranti and put the game out of Roma's reach? The 89th minute. The European places on the line here. Smart, firm, and Hakan Çalhanoğlu effectively seals Milan's victory here. A temporary absence from San Siro for 3.5 months. The class is permanent.
Looking at that penalty again. Certainly clipped there by Smalling. Short run up there from Çalhanoğlu, but does he really hit that emphatically into the top right-hand corner? And it's a deserved win for Milan for me. I think they've been brilliant in the second half, and I think Roma's fitness has really come to play, that they really have not shown that in their second half performance. And you mentioned European places, Stephen. This could be a massive, massive win for them in terms of the points and the confidence, and say there's a big 4 or 5 games coming up for Milan if they are going to try and progress back into Europe.
Well, Milan have stepped it up against one of their European rivals. Certainly those games that come into view: Spal, Lazio, Juve, Napoli. The chance is there. Milan can't afford to lose the ball cheaply like that, with Kessie caught out by Spinazzola. You wonder whether Roma's realistic chances of catching the top 4 are disappearing in front of them here. 5 added minutes at the end of this match. Samakas with the block.
That's the challenge there from to gives himself that booking and now misses the next game.
The coach may look on this as being a couple of unnecessary absentees come Thursday night. You wonder what would have happened had Dzeko planted his header. But here's Çalhanoğlu. First half opportunity for Roma, and they've had nothing better since. Zappacosta has really experienced the ups and downs of Serie A, all within a single match here. The thrill of being in the starting lineup for Roma for the very first time, and then the nightmare pass back that effectively cost Roma that first Milan goal.
Certainly disappointing the way that they conceded the goals. You mentioned the pass back there that led to Milan going on that counter-attack and getting the first goal, and then the second goal being a penalty, but they've really shown nothing in this second half. The away team after, I thought, a really encouraging first half performance, and Mkhitaryan and Kluivert in particular, but if you look at the subs that Milan have made to come on and really change the game compared to Roma, that's where the game's been won in this second half.
Morante gave Roma supporters a bit of a scare first half when he tried to turn from goalkeeper to playmaker. But he's made a couple of very good saves in truth. I mean, the Rebic goal, saving the initial effort from the Croatian, knocking it onto the post, couldn't do anything about the follow-up by Milan's number 18. Lopez, as I mentioned, absent with the wrist injury. Nicolo Zaniolo, of course, a huge absentee for them right now after that cruciate ligament injury. This isn't doing any harm at all to Stefano Pioli's long-term prospects, wherever they may be, frankly. The closing seconds, Adam.
I think it's a deserved 3 points for Milan after good performance away at Lecce, and continuing on since coming back from the break. They've shown real desire and real attitude that they have to try and push forward, but I just think Roma have been tired in this second half. They've not really shown anything in terms of quality in the final third, and certainly big performances needed if they want to catch Atalanta and Inter in particular.
There's the full-time whistle. Milan closed the gap to 6 points on one of their European rivals. 10 to play. The penalty from Hakan Çalhanoğlu following up from Ante Rebic. Stefano Pioli, who's faced Roma more than any other club in his managerial career. Just his third win against them, and what an important